Sports Radio 1140, The Fan.
Talkin Money!
And we're back. It's Talkin Money with Jeff Tarbell.
All right, how you doing? We didn't get our quiz question out before the break, so we got two things rolling here. We've got our text, text in, give me your response. We're going to pick somebody randomly today to go to the Hellwig Renegade concert next Saturday night. So our text question is, we're getting a lot of response, I'll read some of those too, over the new welfare reform rules back in 1996. Then President Clinton signed a declaration requiring the states to track their money that are given to welfare recipients and track the efforts that they're taking to find a job or do some sort of some sort of work, whether it's volunteer work, something to that effect. Last week, now President Obama has overturned that and basically said, we'll leave it up to the states to decide what they want to do. We're not going to require people to go out and look for work. We're not going to require the states to report back to us. So what do you think is the right answer there? Should we be requiring, A, people to do something to find work, and B, should we just leave it up to the states to track it, or should we let the feds keep their fingers on it? So, and we're getting lots and lots of replies both ways. Most people are saying we want people to try to do something to earn the money they're getting, whether it's show they're getting work. But a couple of them here are saying let's let the states track it. So that's probably more online where I am. Is I think that if you're going to give the states the money, let them deal with it. But I don't. California's not very good about many things. And tracking their money, if you saw today's Sacramento Bee, tracking their money is one of them. $45 million sitting off to the side. And that's a whole other story. I'll get back to that another time. But it's no coincidence that the $45 million that was sitting there untracked, if you will. And by the way, it wasn't $45 million that was missing. I mean, it was off the balance sheet. But the money's not lost. We have the money. The department has the money. And a good majority of that money comes from fees or from taxes on your gasoline and other things too that go toward parks and off-road enthusiasts and those kind of things as well. So, but anyway, that's a side diversion. So let me know on the 441140 if you'd like to keep it the existing policy or go somewhere else. We're getting a lot of texts, so we'll pick someone there. We do have a quiz question. Kent's going to fire one off there.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
So this past week, this company, for a first time in its 26 years, reported a quarterly loss.
So it's never reported a quarterly loss before?
No.
Okay. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, or you can text us if you'd like at 441140. This public company, for the first time ever, reported a quarterly loss.
26 years as a public company.
Well, I know it's not Coca-Cola because they've been around a little more than 26 years. So 126 years. I wonder if Coca-Cola had reported a loss. They probably.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Must have. They must have at some point in time. So who's the company? And we will send you a pair of passes to the pair of tickets to the Sacramento Rivercats baseball. And by the way, if you get those tickets, those are good for any game you want to go to. So you walk up and they'll just give you the best seats that they have available. And I think Saturday nights they still do the fireworks show. So 339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. We'll take a text winner at 441140. And boy, there's a lot of things here on the text line. I'm going to have to read that one probably during the break and come back to that. We have one text that's more like a book from the 209, so I'll try to read that as we go on. I did note, speaking, well, I don't want to give away our quiz question there too early. Couple things out of the market this week. I don't generally do a lot of stock market and market news, but again, Treasury yields, which is your T-bills, which is a indicator and a tie to how mortgage rates go. Down near record lows again, and I've heard some talk from some people in the industry that let me see, the 10-year note as of Friday was at 1.459. Ridiculous. Now I have heard that there is speculation, and that's all it is because speculation is what you get. That the 10-year T is projected by many in the industry to hit 1%.
Wow.
Sometime this year. 1%. And that would be, I believe, the first time ever it has hit 1%. So that's a half point lower. So think about if that translates into mortgage rates being a half point lower, puts mortgage rates in the 30-year fix in the 3% range, the 15-year fix in the 2% range, which triggers then another wave of refinancing from people who just refinanced to get a 30% near the 4% and the 15 near the 3. So, I'm not sure that will happen. B, if it does happen, I'm not sure that mortgage lenders will follow down with those rates, and only because I don't know that they can. And I mean that, but I don't know that they need to. And so that's where I come back to kind of in the first half of the first segment there, which is talking about where rates should be anyway. Rates should be a little bit lower than they are. I mean, we're talking about minute differences now, maybe a quarter difference. But if you only have a select number of lenders, now I know that when you listen to the radio and you look on TV and you see all these different companies advertising, and you say, well, what are you talking about? There's all kinds of lenders. But they're not, and ourself included, we're not the ultimate aggregator of mortgages, which basically means that my company, which is Comstock Mortgage, we have credit lines, so we fund loans, we underwrite them, we do it all. We own the loan temporarily, but we need a place to offload that money because obviously we don't have an infinite amount of money on credit lines, and nobody does, even Wells Fargo does not. So at some point in time, you have to take your money, move the loan somewhere else, and get your money back, right? So you buy the loan for $1, you sell it for $1.15, and you make 15 cents when you sell it, or whatever the profits are, and you take your $1.15 and you go make more loans. And so if there's only, and it used to be there was all kinds of lenders that would buy those loans from you, not just the Wells and the Chase and Citibank and B of A, but there was lots and lots of places to do that. And then, of course, you can go right to Fannie Mae directly. But now you're getting down to just a few. There's just a couple, that are left that want to do that. And so you have a couple choices. You can either sell it to Wells. B of A, for the most part, is not buying loans anymore. Chase is still doing a little bit. Or you can go right to Fannie Mae and sell it directly too. And even Fannie Mae has now said, well, we're only going to let you sell so much, right? Because there's risk when we buy stuff from you. And if you're not big enough, we don't want to buy a lot from you. So you start running out of places to send your loans to. And that's common no matter where you go. And then you're left with the big houses saying, look, why do I need to drop my price to $1 when I'm selling plenty at $1.50? So that's the issue though. You all right there?
I'm good, thank you.
Allergies? Is it the mold in the room?
Yeah,
catch up? Yeah,
it is actually.
So that's my concern a little bit, is that as we go on here, that if rates keep going down and down and down, there's not much farther they can go. If we're at one point, I mean, 0 is only 1.5% away from us on the Treasury. So, but if we keep going down and down, I don't know that our industry can handle it. We're already, in large part, way understaffed. And you look around at some of these job numbers and say, the unemployment now is starting to creep back up again, and you'd say, well, it should be easy to find somebody to come work in your company, Jeff. It should be easy to find someone to come work at B of A. It should be, the problem is it's not, because you have to have some level of experience, and the market is at such a fire pace right now to come in new and try to learn all the new rules and stuff is almost impossible. Almost, I mean, you can come into a kind of an entry-level job and work your way in, but this is an industry that needs professionals like yesterday. Right? I mean, we need people that know what they're doing already up and running. And our industry flushed out a whole bunch of people during the last, kind of downturn, if you will. Late 07, early 08, the market was doing nothing. No refinancing, no purchases, and all these new rules come in. And so a lot of people just got out. And our industry used to rely on people jumping in the last minute. You'd have your local realtor. They're not doing a lot of house sales. So they'll jump in and become a lender real quick. You'd have people kind of going back and forth, coming in and out of the industry. You can't do that anymore.
No.
You can't do it. And the rules change so darn much every single day. And so you'll run into people all the time. Oh, yeah, I used to be in the industry. Like when? Well, a couple of years ago. I said, if you weren't in it last week.
Exactly.
You're not in the industry. You have no idea. And so it's always funny when you talk to people that you're doing a loan for them and like, last time you didn't ask me, nobody asked me for all this stuff I didn't have to go through all this. I'm like, yeah, duh. That's how we lost. That's how we lost a few $1 trillion. Nobody asked you anything. They were just asked you if you were breathing, right? That was it. This is the teeter-totter version of now the teeter-totters down here on the ground now, and we're going to ask you for a lot more stuff. So it's an interesting market, but I get this. It actually scares me a little bit to think that if rates dip a little bit more, it puts the pressure on an industry that's already, crazy,
right?
Crazy. And what we're trying to do, at least internally in our company, and I'm sure others are trying to do the same, is that, quite frankly, it's the purchase business that we need to focus on. I mean, the refinancing is awesome, and it's everybody wants to do it because it's theoretically easier, and quite frankly, there's a lot of less pressure in terms of just getting things done on a timely manner. And refinancing is great. We put money back in people's pockets. Hopefully, they'll spend some of it, right? And that's shown to be true.
Right.
But it is the purchase activity that is the lifeblood, particularly here in California, Northern California, a lifeblood of getting our economy going again. And I promised myself that during this transaction of selling my house and buying the next one, that I would try to track down every individual that was involved, in the process of either selling the house, moving stuff out. I mean, all you go down the list, and frankly, it would take me more time than I have available to track down every single person that I have already talked to about either helping me get this house sold and all the things that go along with that, or helping me buy this house, which is going to need some remodeling, which is going to need some other things too. And that's just one transaction, and the spin-off of it is probably, I'm going to say, will probably be 50 to 75 individuals that are either involved somewhere or the other, either in part of this transaction, in one transaction.
Right.
One transaction. So it'll be probably 75 people that'll be somehow involved, either making some money or we need more of that. And the purchases are getting lost in the refinance wave a little bit. So we try to identify them, push them to the top, and keep them up there. But they're getting frustrated. Realtors are everything gets slow. The appraisals get slow. It's frustrating. So there's a good and a bad to everything that goes on. So we'll keep talking about that. We did get an answer to our quiz question. The question was, this company for the first time in 26 years showed a quarterly loss. Someone answered McDonald's. McDonald's is older than 26 years old, at least as a public company, I think. So McDonald's is a good one. McDonald's has shown some quarterly losses before. But the answer was Microsoft, who took a one-time loss or one-time write-down. Does it say in the article there how much they spent? They spent some $1 billion.
$6.2 billion charge.
And who do they buy? Does it say?
It was a
Q something or
A quantitative.
Okay, A quantitative, which was supposed to be similar to, was it Twitter or Facebook or Google or something? It was to say what they did, what A quantitative did.
It doesn't say.
Okay,
but that was the purchase was back in 2007.
Okay, back in 2007.
Online ad service.
There you go. So they were trying to compete with. They were trying to compete with kind of this Google online ad.
Yahoo, yeah.
Yep, and they didn't do so well, and they decided to take a $6 billion write-down. So I want to be the guy who sells the company for $6 billion, and it turns out that it was a model that didn't work, but you got your $6 billion first anyway. So kind of like Mark Cuban did, right? He got all his money out, and then everybody's like, oh, yeah, that didn't really work. Okay, well, my check's still cleared.
Yeah,
so I'm cool.
Thank you.
I'm cool. Let's do another quiz question here, too. We got to take another quick break. 339-1140 is our number, 1-800-920-1140.
Okay, so this particular product, the Apple iPhone 4S 16 gig, estimated wholesale price on this unit is $649.
This is the iPhone 4?
Correct.
Okay.
iPhone 4S 16 gig. So the question is, what is the total cost to manufacture that unit? So parts and labor.
Okay, the sum of its parts. So
parts and labor.
$649, $650 iPhone 4S. What does it really cost Apple to put that together, including labor and all the parts individually? What is so that's a pretty decent profit, I'm guessing. Yep, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, and you can text us if you'd like at 441140. Roughly, what does an iPhone 4S cost in terms of the sum of its parts and labor? This is Talkin Money. My name is Jeff Tarbell. That's Kent Smith, and we'll be
right back.